When I was a freshman at Georgetown University, I really was struggling that first semester, and I thought I was going to be super successful when I went off to college and didn't have that experience right away. And while I was studying for my final exams during Christmas break, I decided that I needed some sort of creative outlet, and one of my friends suggested that I started a blog, and the rest is history. I have pinch me moments almost every single day, and I get to work with some of the most amazing people and brands and companies that I never in a million years would have dreamed that I would be able to work with. But I think my biggest moment was definitely working with Teen Vogue this year and being featured in their magazine and doing a couple photo shoots with them. It was definitely a dream come true. If you want to have a really successful blog post, I think it really comes down to having a great voice in your writing. The internet is so oversaturated with content right now. You can find information about anything pretty much anywhere. So when people come to your blog, you really want your voice to shine through and your opinions so that they really get to know you and you're having a conversation with your reader. When you put something out on the internet, it's out there forever. So I think knowing that you just have to kind of stick by what you say. So I've never really regretted anything that I've said. I mean, some things I like are a little bit cringeworthy, but it's out there for the internet, and I would never take something down because I already put it out there. But the great thing about the internet is that it has a really short memory, and people lose interest and move on to the next big scandal. So even if something isn't being received as well as you had imagined, just know that tomorrow or next week, it's old news. When you're starting to blog, the best thing that you can do is just to really enjoy the actual process of blogging. And if that's your number one expectation and your biggest goal is just to enjoy blogging, you'll always find success no matter what happens. When you start blogging with some other intentions in mind, like I want to make money or I want it to be my job, you might not find that success and be disappointed in the end. So if you really just want to blog because you love to blog, you'll always be successful and happy. I think College Prepster will always be a part of my life, and it's definitely opening doors left and right for me. So I think in the next 5 years, it'll be more of a balance of figuring out who the College Prepster is and how she can continue to live on the internet or where else, and also how I can build out my own personal brand and do some more interesting things with, Carly. Learning how to tune out the people who might not have your vision in mind is really difficult, but one of the things that will really set you apart as an entrepreneur. Even your close friends and family members might not understand what you want to accomplish, and if you start listening to them and let that cloud your judgment and decision making as an entrepreneur, you might not find the success that you would have had if you had just put your blinders on. But I wouldn't also write off the advice of mentors because that advice is invaluable. For me, my anxiety and perfectionism really got me through a lot of hard times in high school, and I think there were moments where maybe it had gone a little bit too far, but I hadn't really realized that. And then when I got to college, it just spiraled out of control, and asking for help and figuring out ways to deal with it was the best thing I could have done for myself, both personally and professionally. And I think, it's not something that I just know 100% right now or don't have to struggle with every day. It's definitely something that comes up from time to time, but I have this internal gut check that I do with myself every now and then just to make sure I'm staying on the right track. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way through blogging and creating the College Prepster brand, and the things I've learned have definitely come from having challenges and not knowing what to do and kind of, making mistakes along the way and figuring out what's really working. And one of those biggest challenges that I faced is learning how to evolve my brand and creating long-term strategy that I really need to adhere to. So one of the things for me is what happens when the College Prepster graduated college. And I've had to be really deliberate and slow about growing up the College Prepster, maintaining the blog and the content along the way so it wasn't a big shocking thing when the College Prepster graduated. One of the things I want everyone to remember and to think about is that success isn't overnight. Anything is possible and no dream is too small, but there's sacrifice and commitment that comes to it, even if it's long term. And knowing when you have to make those sacrifices, that it will pay off eventually. It might not happen tomorrow, but your dream will come true if you stick with it.